Longest time we have been waiting for news about the Warhammer 40k Amazon Henry Cavill shows, and now we finally have something. There are quite a few things. Some of them are suspicious, and some of them are going towards the fact sphere. Logan, the fact sphere is somewhere where there's facts.
And it's a sphere.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So, okay, let's get to the meat of things. So, horror maestro Mike Flanagan joins Henry Cavill on Warhammer adaptations. So, this guy is famous for several things, and we are going to read what. But first, let me tell you that there's a concerning thing about this guy. It is the fact that he has left-leaning things that he said.
Ways of thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
also, it's concerning Henry's hair on that photo there.
That's another topic. Yeah, he doesn't have that hairdo, thankfully, anymore. But yeah, so yeah, he has some left-leaning
things he said,
which is concerning, and we all know that Warhammer 40k is infested with some of that. We do know about the female custodies, and we also do know that Henry Cavill does not make compromises because he was already screwed up with The Witcher, and we know that he put his foot down and he left when they didn't want to listen to him. And now he has everything. I mean, everything is under him, basically. And according to all the reports that we saw since the beginning of this, he is the head of this project, so he should be deciding what goes. And a lot of the things that GW and Henry and Amazon talked about is already agreed upon. Also, the female custodies were basically confirmed in April of 2024, and the deal was, the whole deal with Amazon was confirmed and struck in December 2024. So just a few months before. This doesn't mean that they're included though here, because they can always skip them. But anyway, so this guy that they chose here, or maestro Mike Flanagan, he does have talent according to what he has already made, and some people actually swear by his Midnight Mass show in particular and the Hunting of Hill House. They say that those, particularly in the Netflix series such as Midnight Mass, are one of the best things on Netflix, period. Some people say that.
But then again, it's Netflix.
Yeah, it's Netflix, but you never know.
Haven't seen anything of the guy because I'm not a horror aficionado. I did read that his biggest inspiration is Stephen King, and I think he'll do like another adaptation. I forget, is it a TV series or like a movie adaptation of Carrie? You know, again for an NT time. I think he worked on Doctor Sleep, the horror movie based again on a book with of Stephen King. So we do know that Stephen King is also kind of on the left side of things, which is kind of concerning, you know. Now, as far as I could research, actually, he never explicitly show his political views on interviews and things like that, up to a certain moment in which he said things about Trump, and that he basically said, "I'm sorry, I didn't put more political things in my stuff," or something like that.
Yeah, that's concerning.
And then he was on a event for horror creators that supported Kamala Harris.
Yay!
Yeah. So yeah.
Yay, great.
Yay.
Very bad. But I do think that because Henry is the freaking Kevin Feige of this universe, this guy has to obey by whatever Henry says. So if he says, do not include your filthy thinking in Warhammer, he should obey by that. So that is at least my hope.
Yeah, maybe he's just hired to do the job. And he will be on a leash for those things. I mean, he can include those things in his own project, like what he's doing there for Netflix or the other movies, but
I mean, just like James Gunn was on the leash before when he worked for Marvel and he had to do things, especially for the first movie, exactly what Kevin Feige says, and he wasn't able to actually unleash his depravities on the Marvel universe, but then he did in the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie with all that animal abuse stuff.
And then he just let loose over on DC, so so maybe here really Henry will keep him on a leash, and it's just that they think that he's a good writer, maybe,
Yeah, because they did hire him because he does have some experience in writing like religious themes and all that, which in Warhammer is very prevalent. If you want to show that side of Warhammer, and you should, at least in some point, depending on where they're going with this. But in any case, when they're showing Sisters of Battle or whatever it is, they will show the cathedrals and all that Gothic style of things, and his influence maybe is going to be like a perfect fit from that point of view for the show. So let's see what the article says, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Games Workshop has revealed acclaimed horror director Mike Flanagan has been recruited to work on its upcoming Warhammer 40,000 adaptations. Flanagan, who is known for his work on Netflix series such as Midnight Mass and The Haunting of Hill House, is due to begin work on scripts soon, the company said. UK-based Games Workshop previously announced Warhammer superfan Henry Cavill would produce and star in TV and film projects based on the miniature tabletop wargame. In its latest update, it confirmed the former Superman actor remains involved after fans had expressed worries about the lack of new information on the collaboration. Games Workshop said its revenue from video games had fallen slightly, but it still plans upcoming releases, including Dawn of War 4. The company did not reveal whether Flanagan would work on a film or series, but added that production company United Artists had also been brought on board. Games Workshop, which struck a licensing deal with Amazon in 2024, said it had almost completed work on a new Warhammer-inspired episode of Secret Level, the Prime Video anthology series based on popular video games. It also said work had begun on a full animated series based on its Space Marine Deathwatch characters. The company said it had seen a drop in revenue from licensing video games against a challenging backdrop for the industry, and two previous partners had ended their deals to make Warhammer-inspired titles. Despite this, it has announced 4 new video game tie-ins this year, and said blockbuster 2024 release Space Marine 2 continues to generate income long after the initial launch. Henry Cavill remains involved with adapting Warhammer 40,000. The news about Games Workshop's screen adaptations came in its annual financial report, where it announced record-high results. It said pre-tax profit was up 4.9% to a record £275.7 million for the fiscal year.
I don't know why they included that part.
Yeah, kind of unnecessary.
Ridiculous. But yeah, so also, Deathwatch series coming on Warhammer Plus, says Matt here. Absolutely, that's interesting.
Remember that short that was it Bandai Namco who did it when we had actually the members of Watch going on a mission? There was a space wolf, I think, a salamander. What was it? Remember? It was a short that Bandai Namco did it.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah. That was great. That
was great. I want to see that in this Deathwatch series.
Okay, so we have a few things to address, but this is going to be development story, so we're going to make more of a dedicated video later if something new comes up. But Matty also says here, from what I've heard and I read, they want Warhammer 40k to take over Star Wars as the premier sci-fi IP. Cavill is not going to put up with woke shenanigans.
That's what we hope, indeed.
Yeah, that's what we hope.
That's why...
I'm not sure, though, about all of those news that they present as news. I mean, it's kind of like rumors that they present that he said that he wants, Warhammer to become prevalent or famous as Star Wars. Of course, that's logical, but whether or not he really said it,
we don't know.
I have my doubts.
But if that's what they want, now is their chance. While Star Wars is, coughing blood in the ground from all the woke stuff.
Yeah,
and
basically.
if he really does not take any woke shenanigans, Now is the chance for, because people will be hungry for a great sci-fi series with no woke stupidity inside, and Warhammer can do this for everybody. I think Also, it's more interesting than Star Wars.
Yes, but no, not that. I mean that yes, but another thing. So also the other thing is that whatever we saw from Secret Level so far with the Titus episode was perfection, and that's not even under Henry.
Yeah.
There was zero woke stuff there. I don't know about everything that Secret Level did because I'm not familiar with all the IPs that they presented there, and I don't care about them. But whatever Warhammer was, that Space Marine related episode, Space Marine the game, I mean, too, with Titus, that's like pure cinema. It was amazing.
Indeed.
So even without Henry, but we are with Henry, but the point is that they did not try to interject anything. I know that Siyama Pedersen, the creators of Astartes project, was involved with making this. So they're taking competent people and they want to make something competent. Also, I did read, but take this with grain of salt, that Jeff Bezos learned his lesson from the failed IPs. I mean, the public perception of them, like Rings of Power, although they keep making it.
Why they keep making it?
It's kind of like, let's finish the story maybe, but the reports say, I take it with a grain of salt, that he did learn what is good and he wants to have a creative freedom. He wants to give creative freedom to the people behind the shows and basically to establish some kind of an amazing new universe, and the chances for Warhammer to be that are, well, the biggest chances, because that is the most unique IP that the world has ever seen in comparison to everything else. That's very standard and vanilla. Warhammer is not vanilla.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
I mean, that makes sense, but it's like wishful thinking as well. If that's really the case, you gotta be either more positive or more negative about it, more cynical about it. We don't know. It's just that right now, so many different things are all of a sudden coming out, different reports, and everybody are like, Henry Cavill did this, and Henry Cavill said this, and Henry Cavill has such higher standards for things. I mean, we already know that.
Yeah.
We know that. So from everything that he said, I think that we can safely assume at least that he wants to do the Warhammer IP justice. I think that is for sure. For sure, he already said it. There's a few interviews that people missed from before, in which he said that this is the greatest honor of his life, but also it's the hardest thing that he ever done. But I think that he can definitely pull it off. The next thing is that people are still pushing that we are going to have Eisenhorn. And Eisenhorn was a show that was in the works at Amazon before the pandemic.
Yeah.
I remember that very vividly. It was one of the initial ideas and was in the works before Henry, before the pandemic. It was just before the pandemic. So whatever that was, it has probably fallen apart by now. And as we spoken about this before, we actually do have a video recorded already, by the way, for this, and we have to release. So as we spoken about this before, the Amazon, I mean, what Henry has in mind, it's really up in the air. Some say that he wants to do the scouring, which is basically the Primarchs, all the different, all the different legions going away to fight and chase the other Primarchs, Chaos, whoever. But like, why would he do that when he didn't even do the heresy? I mean, how can you do the scouring? Like all of a sudden the scouring now, guys. Everybody are spread around the universe. Who are they? How are you going to explain to the public what is what and who is who? What is this universe? Why are people doing what they're doing? These are not people as well. What are these? What are those? You have to have some kind of a basis for that. But okay, I'm not gonna repeat myself. I already said that in the previous video. That's about to come out tomorrow or the other day. I'm gonna work on it. It's gonna be my priority now. But yeah, point being that this guy right there, despite being a leftist lunatic, that's what it seems, If he is ready to work with Henry Cavill, he will have to obey by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout Warhammer 40k, the wokeness is pretty small. It is, I mean, any wokeness is horrible and quite enough, and we do not need any more of it. The point is that comparison to everything else in Warhammer, the wokeness is this much. Compared to all the other universes, the wokeness is even smaller and lesser.
Okay.
So hopefully that's not going to be a part of Warhammer, because again, they did agree everything that is okay and it's not okay on that table before Henry announced it officially in front of all of us. They did agree on certain guidelines to be faithful to the lore, for the lore integrity to be kept and whatever. And that also means that maybe or maybe not, they're going to include some woke elements. But again, it is because of those woke elements and weird changes in The Witcher that Henry Cavill decided to give up on it.
Indeed.
He was not listened to, and he didn't like it, and we didn't like it, and the show really failed, and it was, to the ground.
If Jeff Bezos really learned anything, and if Mike Flanagan really wants to use the opportunity to work there, he should just listen to Henry. And I do think that Henry won't allow any of the wokeness being here. The maximum thing could be, Black or Asian Space Marine, which is fine. We had that in the game.
If it's like
depending where,
I mean,
if it's the
white scars,
the Space Wolves, no,
white scars,
exactly,
perfect.
Right? Yeah.
Asian, yes, Mongolian, whatever.
Absolutely right.
Anything else is just that they're not supposed to be black. It just looks weird.
Yeah.
We have some wokeness in Necromunda now that me and Chainsword could cover. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, guys, so that is it for now. We're going to keep an eye on this, of course, and we're going to let you know what's happening as soon as we know. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you excited about the Amazon Henry Cavill shows? Are you not? Just, yeah, let us know.
Sacred might, their purpose burning crystal bright, to lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.